Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is April 21st, 2022 at 8 o'clock in the morning. I want to welcome you to this week's edition of When Life Needs a Detox, My Life with Multiple Sclerosis. My name is Carol White. I'm your host. I am an author, a publisher, and I'm the owner of MHB Publishing LLC. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy morning to spend a little time with me. Well, I don't have anything earth shattering to report from the last week, but I do hope everyone had a wonderful Easter. I hope you praised God on his resurrection day. And with that being said, I want to get to today's topic. The title of today's topic is It Ain't All About You. Try not to take it personal. Now, the reason I've come up with this is that I know that when you have difficulties like financial distress, sickness, and just everything in your life goes topsy-turvy, our first questions and our first response is, why me, Lord? Why me, God? And let's face it, it's pretty hard not to ask this question because the first thing you want to know is why this is happening. And why is it happening to us? Because we've done what we think is the right things. We do, as human beings, we do the best we can with what we've got. So, we try to treat everybody right, live a good life, go to church, we tithe, you know, you're trying to figure out what it is that you did wrong for God to punish you. Maybe there's nothing you did at all. And maybe, just maybe, it ain't about you. Someone a couple months ago gave me a unique perspective uh, on my multiple sclerosis. And I wasn't really saying that I thought God had did me dirty. Although I do sometimes question, and I did at the time, question what it is that God wanted from me. And this person looked at me and said, have you ever considered that it's not about you? I looked at him and I said, well, what do you mean? He says, has it ever occurred to you that God needs to teach someone else something through your circumstance? And I looked and I said, well, now that's another theory. That's another perspective. And he says, absolutely. He says, a lot of times what happens to us, not about us. He says, sometimes God needs to use us to show other people how to act or react, or just to be grateful for what they have. And I thought about it. And I said, yeah, that makes sense. It also occurred to me that that is a unique position for God to give you. It is a unique position to be placed in. Because really, our parents used to tell us, you mad how you act in the street because you never know who's watching. It's the same thing when we're going through our trials, our hurts, and our tribulations. You have to be aware that somebody's watching you to figure out how you gonna handle this. And favorite example of this, and I'm taking it from the Bible, is the story of Job, the whole book of Job. Now, let's recall, Job had wealth, he had land, he had cattle, he had a wife that loved him, he had an abundance of sons, they had families, they had farms, everybody was doing great. And then all of a sudden, he lost it all. He was afflicted with a skin condition. And then he found out he had nothing but a bunch of fake friends throwing shade and a nagging wife with a bad attitude. Now, why did this happen to Job? Well, in the Bible, we have an understanding of why this happened to Job. And it's because the Lord and the devil were talking one day. Lord said, look, all these people that you say you love, soon as something goes wrong, they will curse your name and go on about their business. God chose Job to show that no matter what he did to the faithful, they would not ever commit the sin of cursing his name. Now, of all the people that existed in the world, he chose this one man to be the example. So now, Job went through all of the trials and tribulations. He lost his home. He lost his family. He lost his wealth. He lost his position. He was covered in a skin fungus, and people ridiculed him. And they kept asking him, why don't you just curse his name and get it over with? Job endured however long he had to endure that. But he always was able to talk to God. And he did. He asked the Lord why. The Lord told him it's not your job or your position to ask me why. If you can't produce what I've produced, you can't ask me why. I'm not going to hurt you. And I'll never allow anyone to really hurt you. But don't question it. I just need you to go with the process. And that is our job. When trials beset us, I'll just take myself, multiple sclerosis. Yes, indeed, I did ask God why. I didn't get an answer because I'm not supposed to get one. My job was to handle my multiple sclerosis because everything I need to get through multiple sclerosis has been provided for me. I've got a great neurologist. They set me up on a treatment plan. I have people in my corner. Deb, I know you these shout outs surprise you, but an amazing angel, Deb Gunter, in my corner with exercise. He already gave me insight on diet. I've been dieting since I was 12, so I knew what worked. He gave me people that stand by my side, even when I'm getting to my ugliest point. So I don't have to question why. I just have to get through it. And here's another thing. Through everything that I was going through, I wrote my book, My Life with Multiple Sclerosis. It's what I make it look like. It looks the way I make it look. I forgot the title of my own book. I'm so sorry. But that title is My Life with Multiple Sclerosis. It Looks the Way I Make It Look. I couldn't have written that book unless I had multiple sclerosis. And the thing is that something told me somebody needs this information. Somebody needs to know that they're not by themselves, that they're not alone, because I was never alone. And I want everyone to have that same feeling, that they're not alone. You know, there are resources out here that will just make your life easier, your journey easier, your burdens lighter. So understand that when you're going through a tough time, yeah, you're going through it, but it may not be about you. Trust the process, trust God, and go through your journey. What you're going to find is just like Job at the end of his journey, everything he lost was returned to him. And I believe it was returned to him in abundance of what he had before. Whatever you're going through, your life ain't over. And it ain't about you. Don't internalize this. Don't make it personal. Trust God, trust the process, and continue your journey. Well, y'all, that's all I have for today. I love you guys to the moon and back. And thank you for listening, because this was on my heart and I had to get it off. But this has been this week's edition of When Life Needs a Detox. Again, I am your host, Carol White, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead of you. I will see you next Thursday, and we're going to talk some more. Bye-bye now.